Are you in a place where what you're working on is not working, and perhaps you're looking for a way to change your life, and hopefully for a long time to have a lasting change, a lasting impact? I don't know if you guys have seen it, but a lot of times there's people around us, or even ourselves, will desire to make transformations, right? Which is why New Year's resolutions are so funny, because so many of them don't last. They're just short little things. But we've all experienced the process of trying to have a transformation last forever, but it just lasts for a week. And so in this video, I want to talk about some things here, some components of making lasting transformation. You might be the person that's like me, where it's like you might be forced, like you have to make a change. It might feel like it's being forced on you. So like a couple years ago, I had to hit rock bottom before I realized that what I was working on wasn't working for me, and that I needed to change things in order to be where I wanted to be. So 5 key components that I've experienced, that I've observed, that I want to share with you guys. This should be rather quick. Okay, so number 1, I would call this deep dissatisfaction. You're unhappy with where you are. This is the push. And I'm going to go to the next one in a second, but I want to talk about, there was a study done with mice, and they were trying to evaluate if just having cheese or peanut butter, whatever it was, like they had the mice, I guess their tail was attached to like a spring, and the spring would measure a force. And so having the cheese in front of the mouse registered a number. So that, what I would say, would be like the pull, like they were being pulled towards the cheese. And then the push is the deep dissatisfaction. They had like a cat or a predator. They had some kind of like a smell. Maybe it was like an artificial smell at the back of the cage. And so that is the push. And then the pull was the cheese. And so when they measured with just the push, they registered like one amount, but it was significantly more when they had push and pull. For that reason, deep dissatisfaction is number 1. Hopeful horizon would be number 2. That's the pull. The hopeful horizon is the thing that you're working towards. So you need something you're running from, and you need something that you're running towards. Number 3 would be an ignited intention. I talk a lot about intention. I don't, and this is like my beef with Atomic Habits. The book is great. What he talks about is great. I just wish there was more time spent on intentionality, because a lot of people are setting goals and they're like unitizing them and breaking them down and chunking them up and chunking them down and figuring out how to fit them into their life, but they haven't done the work of figuring out why they actually want those in the first place. It's like someone that, goes to college but they're not convinced, or it's someone that like believes what their parents believe spiritually or politically. It's like it's not truly theirs. They haven't had the why or the intention set on that thing being for them. And so deep dissatisfaction, hopeful horizon, you've got to set the compass by having an ignited intention. I think that is absolutely key critical component that most people miss. Number 4 is faithful footsteps. What the heck am I talking about? This is like when you have no idea and you do it anyway. This is like you're stepping out on the ice and you don't know if it's going to hold you, and it might not, and you're going to figure it out. Like, so many people, I think, are expecting they launch their first company and they're expecting to know everything and to like have total comfort. And so much of life is just unknown. So much of you taking next steps to do something you haven't done before is unknown. Like, yes, you can get a coach, you can get people to help you make it clearer. But if there's anything worth doing in your life, it's going to be challenging and it's going to be unfamiliar. And so you're going to have to step out in faith. You're going to have to put your weight on that piece of ice and hope that it holds. And if it doesn't, figure out what you're going to do next. And so faithful footsteps is number 4. The last one is consistent clarity. So after you break through the ice, or after you take your first step and the ice holds you, you'll get clarity on where you're going to go next, how you're going to approach it. And so consistent clarity, the vision becomes clearer as you step out, removing blockers along the way. And these are all kinds of things, right? Like, what's a blocker that's, as you're getting clarity, like, why am I talking about blockers, right? I think for a lot of people that I've worked with, will do a couple things in their business, will try some tactical things, and then all of a sudden we'll notice that they have a mindset problem, or they have a mental blocker around, a lot of times it's a thing like money, where they, when we have our first couple calls, they're like, no, like, I'm open to making money or whatever. And then it'll be, well, I don't want to make too much, because if I make too much, then people around me are going to think I'm greedy or this or that. And so they actually have a governor or a rate limiter on the level of success that they are allowing themselves to experience because they have these mental blocks. It's not always money, it could be anything, but a lot of times I see that because I work with a lot of faith-based entrepreneurs. So going through all 5 again, you have these push-pull forces, you have this process of setting the compass, you have this idea of working in the chaos, which is like stepping out in faith and being unsure, and then you have this consistent clarity. Every step that you take, you're going to get a new level of clarity. You're going to have new information, better information to keep taking steps. So these are the 5 components that you will need if you want to make lasting changes that stay in your life and stick in your life forever. I hope that these help you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.